Everybody thinks tomorrow is guaranteed, and everybody thinks that the next moment is guaranteed. And this is the biggest psyop of our lifetime. And this is what's causing us to waste so much of our beautiful life and not actually live it. Because if you knew the next moment is not guaranteed, you could possibly die, you would do everything in your power to live fully. And some who don't want to live will just aimlessly go towards their death. But if you are someone who really rejoices and enjoys life and who has filled with faith and hope, the best thing that I could even possibly think of, someone tells me tomorrow is your last day to live, I would just spend my time in the best possible way I could think of. I would create, I would send out loving messages, I would spend time with people who I love and care about. And that's the thing, most people live as if every day is guaranteed. There's forever. And at a consciousness level, energetic level, yes, there is a forever. But as a physical vessel who exists in the simulation or this three-dimensional realm of the earth, there is a finite time, right? So we all have to perish as physical bodies. And we are coming here to create, express ourselves, and enjoy this world and learn and expand. And most of us go through life without doing that. We don't really create. We just follow a system that's been set upon us. We just copy. We don't really find anything authentic within ourselves to express it. This video, the title, I know it's going to be very interesting, but I have to tell you a story. I made this video just yesterday, but it didn't get saved. And as I set the decision that I am going to step into my power of being a billionaire, you know what happened? We stepped out. Instantly, the cops caught us and gave us a fine because I didn't have a motorcycle license international. I had only a car one. Cool, whatever. You know, it's like as soon as many people face this where you're trying to step into an identity that you desire and instantly everything goes backwards and you're like, what the fuck, is this real, is this happening? I knew this because this happened so many times and I was like, meh, whatever, you know, like you're just upset but life goes on, you're focused on the main thing. Because if you give into your emotions and you give into your mind, then you're just not gonna be able to live. Like, so we went forward, went to the restaurant to have breakfast. Some guy drops my scooter and scratches it up. And I was like, wow, it's getting crazier and crazier. So this again affected me a bit, but I was like, what can I do? I have to just sit still, bring it back to baseline. I know, like I knew as my awareness where I'm heading. I don't care about these small things. If I'm focused on the bigger picture, I know I will set myself for opportunities, growth, and I knew that I have to continue making the video, even though it didn't get saved. Because if I was an emotionally reactive person who gives into my emotions and any kind of, inconvenience steps up, this is a problem. Many people, they don't make content, they don't create, they don't do what they love because they depend on their emotions too much. They're not able to set it aside and take action on what's required, because an identity doesn't just care about your emotions and your thoughts, it also cares about what action you take. Are you repetitively doing the action of the desired version of yourself or not? Because trust me, I promise you, there's so much discomfort, and every time discomfort arrives, if you go back to the comfortable zone, then that's just staying in the familiar, and you'll never experience what you truly like, and what you truly like is in the unfamiliar. So remember, you don't live forever. With this video, I'm going to give you 3 points and I'm going to make it as short as possible. Take some notes down, and I want you also to write down things that I ask you during these sessions. And the first thing I want you to do is write down who you truly wish to be. What identity do you want to possess today, right now? What's the change you want to cause to your life instantly, right now? Do you want a physique, a relationship, more money, whatever it is? Write it down right now and say it with conviction. Write it down and start going through sections of how you feel, how you would think, how you would react, how you would respond, how you would act. All of these things of a new version. We are creating a new avatar, okay? And if you do this for yourself, I promise you, changes are going to be massive. I did this shit to live today in Thailand, all the way from Dubai. I never thought I could do this kind of shit, but today I'm here with my 3 cats and my beautiful partner, and we can do all of this shit cause we did exactly what I'm telling you in this video. And I want to help as many people as I possibly can, and that's why I want to master the art of making billions, because I know I can simplify topics which people think are complex. And that brings me to the first point. The pedestal we put our desires on is the intensity it takes to reach our destination or achieve what we desire. So the more we put our desires on a pedestal, that, oh, getting 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 1 billion is a difficult task, it is going to be that much more difficult. But if we can bring it down, minimize it into, it's nothing, we can get there, and you continue taking action. Obviously, you don't just tell it's nothing, but you have to take action to prove that it's not a difficult thing. You're going to learn it regardless whatever happens. Because if I take the comparison of, you want to get a bottle of water versus getting money, most people would struggle to generate money, but versus getting a bottle of water is so simple because you can go to the store, order it online, tap water, whatever the fuck it is, right? This is the problem we face in today's society, because when we think about the difficulty of making money, where did it come from? It was programmed into us through our family, generations, the society, economy, yada 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 yada. But there are fucking shit ton of people who are fucking rich. How did that happen? They did something consciously. They didn't just wake up with money. Some of them do, but I'm saying a lot of people came from nothing to something, and they did something consciously, and that's what has to be observed. That you need to see, when you see a successful person, that you're not repelled by it, but how you're attracted. Because if you see a sign of repulsion, when you see rich people and you start making excuses, oh, this guy is a drug dealer, or this guy is a rapist, or this guy is selling kids, or this guy is privileged, or this guy made his money through this way, that way, black money laundering, that shows a sign that you are repelling money away. You're constantly telling that money is something difficult to get. You don't see yourself criticizing people when they get a bottle of water. You don't think of it as a big deal. So the more you consider as a big deal, it's going to be that much more a big deal for you to receive it, because it's just going to be repelled away because you're not really in the frequency of it. You're like, I'm not comfortable with it, because you're not really comfortable with receiving money or creating money, because you don't truly believe that you're a person worthy of getting it. So you don't want to, the ego, what it does is, it doesn't want you to feel less, so it'll make you feel like, no, I'm bigger than this, I'm greater than this. Because if I take another better example of a real life experience, when I started calisthenics and I wanted to get a muscle up, it was one of the most hardest things that I ever thought in my life. I could never achieve it. 1.5 years down the lane, I'm like, fuck this shit, I can't do it. I was training with some of the best guys, and I was training with my friends. My friends quit halfway because they were like, it's too fucking hard, it's not for us, it's like impossible. I stuck to it. I'm like, I came in, now I'm gonna go till I find my way through it. And then I met the best mentor, shout out to Ruslan Saibov. And Saibov was like, Fadil, I'm guaranteeing you can do this. This is not something like for the 1% or whatever. I mean, there's only like 0.0 small percentage of people can do muscle up, but it's not impossible. If you follow the structure and the systems that I give you, you can do it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So the conviction he gave me, I amplified it. I truly believed it too, because I was like, okay, this is all I need. Let me see. I'll go till the end of it. I'm not going to keep sabotaging myself. I'm not going to say that there were no bad days. Some days I felt weak, some days I felt strong. But within the span of 3 months, I'm doing 5 reps of a muscle up. Within the span of a year, I'm doing 10 muscle up. That was my personal best. And I was like, okay, now muscle up is like an afterthought. Like I can wake up from my sleep and do it. So the thing is, now I teach people also how to do muscle up, and people tell me all the time the instructions I give them is amazing, because you can't give the same instructions that you were taught with. You have to identify what are the faults in different people and what's the best suited system for them. And when you notice this, only because you've gone through it so many times, you can identify what's the mistakes, right? And everyone tells me I'm really good at it, because what I do is I don't do flukes. I do with intention and precision. And what happened is, when I step into that place, I know the exact foundations, I know how to do it. I broke down something complex into simplified format, right? So when it comes, let's say, to getting a bottle of water, you know how to make it simple, to go to the store, pay the cashier, and then get a bottle of water. And the same way to make money, there's a system. It's not a difficult task, because only when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations and do something that you were never previously able to do, or achieve something that you were never able to do by putting in effort, systems, and processes, you will see that everything is attainable and achievable if you really lock in and not quit. You have to lock in, like properly, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna figure it out. There's no way of quitting, because everything can be taught and learned. You are capable, your mind and body is capable of it. It's just, do you want it? There is no fate, my fate is like this. There is no destiny. You wake up and you want to ride a bike, then you learn how to ride a bike. Kid wants to walk, kid learns how to walk. So there's nothing impossible apart from the impossible that you put yourself into. So listen to yourself when you think about money or any kind of things that you want to achieve. See the thoughts behind it. Or when you see people who have it, how do you envy them? How do you think about them when you see them possessing it? So the whole point of it is minimize your desires into nothingness. That doesn't mean you don't take action. That doesn't mean you just keep repeating this and sitting there and staring in the sky. You gotta take shit ton of action. And the problem these days is most people don't know how to take action. They want to live a life of freedom. They want to be independent. They want to do their thing, but they don't know how to start a business. So if you don't know how to start a business, go and figure out how to start a trade license. Go and figure these things out and make these things normal, because as soon as it comes to starting a trade license, you're panicking. So how can you receive money when money requires a flow? Money requires a business or a trade license. It requires you to have a bank account. It requires you to take action in specific way. It requires you to put out offers. It requires you to speak to people. And when you try to speak to people, you're like, because you are afraid, you're ashamed, you're scared of, like, going and convincing people to buy anything from you. You don't have conviction or enough confidence in what you are putting out there, what product you're selling or what you're giving out as a service. Now, it brings me to the second point. To manifest anything, intellectually understanding it is never enough. You must understand it at an integrated level, or you must feel it. It will be a feeling that you have within you. Because the whole point of manifestation is feeling. You have to feel like you're able to do it, to be it. And that only comes not from just affirmations and meditations and all of this bullshit. You really have to do the action. When you continuously, like I told you, you want to receive money and you want to make money, but you don't have a bank account, you don't have any offer, you don't have any kind of shit. And then there'll be spiritual people telling you that, hey, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need this, money will just come from the sky. And so you will get money, but with a lot of instability, because you're not really a generator, you're a receiver. A person who is generating money will have a structure and a system on how money can flow in, because that's called a container. When there's a structure, the masculine, the feminine energy of money can enter into it. Without a container, nothing can enter. So from here and there, by mistake, you get money, you receive some things, but there's so much instability because you haven't created a container for receiving money or receiving whatever it is that you want. So for example, you want a better relationship, but you haven't created a space where a partner can walk in. You're still in the same patterns of, thinking women or men are bad people. You're still thinking like, relationships suck. And nothing's changing within you. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not going and speaking to women or like in any way opening yourself up to this opportunity. You're constantly keeping yourself away. So it wouldn't come to you. These experiences and opportunities don't come to you. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm going to speak more about money, because my friend did a test recently, a poll, and found out there are so many people struggling with money and the concept of it. And I understood that it's because you're putting it on a pedestal. And I'm not telling you that, oh, it's gonna be all nice and easy and smooth, because as I was making this video, I made it yesterday, it got deleted, and then I went outside, the cops pulled me over, gave me a fine. And then the next thing, I go to a freaking restaurant, the guy knocks my bike over, the scratches, and they were trying to run away, but I got them. But again, you see, so many weird situations happen. But also in the polar side, I found money on the floor, I found so many interesting opportunities coming to my side. And this is what I'm telling you, like, where you focus on is what will start amplifying. So even sometimes the negative patterns will be there internally within you, waiting for your attention. And if you keep feeding it, you're done for it. So for getting what you desire, you cannot just understand the spiritual concepts, your patterns and all of that shit without taking any action. There is no point, because no doing, no grounding your identity. Because the only way you know that you are capable of doing something or being someone is by doing. Okay, Let me give you a perfect example of this in the most simplified format, no complexity. A man goes and sits in front of his child and explains, and let's imagine that this child has a consciousness of understanding everything. And the man is telling this child who cannot walk, hey, listen, this is how to walk, this is how you do it, this is the thing that you have to do, move your hips. He tells him everything intellectually, logically. Kid understands it. Kid gets up, kid fucking falls. Why? Because just because you understood it intellectually, it doesn't mean you've understood it at a body level. The body needs repetition, the nervous system needs repetition, and once it gets repeatedly through that movement, it familiarizes with it, it recognizes it, and then it becomes normal. So unless you do that action again and again and again, you're not gonna learn it. You're not gonna know how to do it. It's just a fluke. Maybe the kid could walk 2 steps and fall because it was a fluke. And until the kid does it again and again and again and falls and learns again and again, no point. He's not gonna learn. And this is the thing Bruce Lee says: I'm not afraid of a person who does one kick. I'm afraid of the person who practices the same kick 10,000 times. And that goes to say, someone who's practicing and constantly attempting something will eventually be a master of that craft. So that goes back to the example of muscle ups. That goes back to the example of sales. I started in my sales job and I knew nothing about it, but I constantly put myself out there. I understood I have to kill the shame because I was afraid when I was getting rejected. And then I just put my energy change, confidence change, the way I approach clients change. Boom, I became good at sales. Then I got my next opportunity. Then I became confident enough that I could start a business. I went and started my own businesses with my friends. And then I started my own mentoring. And you have to do it till you learn. And then you become a master of the craft. And there's no point of not doing it because you're afraid of what people will think, whether you'll fail. The only person who decides you failed is you. It's that simple. Rest everything is an illusion. Now the third and most final point that I'm going to make is the people who win are not the most talented, but the ones who have the most conviction. You could see in your life that maybe you've noticed there will be so many people with so much potential and talent who actually went downhill in life because they didn't have enough conviction in themselves or enough proof that they could do something, so they stuck to a system and a pattern that was imprinted into them or programmed into them, and they continue their life in this format. That brings us to an understanding: the people who always succeed are not always the wise, smartest, but the ones who constantly keep going, because there's a deep down desire they want it. And if you want something in life, it is not that dramatic. You can attain it, but you have to keep sticking on the course. And to make it simplified, let's say I wouldn't get the muscle up the way that I did if I didn't have a mentor. The mentor helps give you a guidance. And in life, you can find so many different mentors. It could be books, videos, whatever it is that could guide you towards making much more focused, precise actions towards your desired reality or the desired identity. And that brings me back to the most important thing. If you cannot simplify something complex, then you're fluking it. Always making it easy and breaking it down into simple steps is the best way, not only to teach yourself, but to teach someone else. And that can only happen through experience. Experience is one of the best teachers because it gives you wisdom. Wisdom is basically practical knowledge, right? Like what gets integrated into you after you observe something you keep doing repeatedly, something you learn. You're like, okay, this works the best way for me. And possibly it could work for others also in a similar fashion. I need you to write down exactly what it is that you want, who you want to be, and why do you want it. These three: what, who, and why. If you can answer, you have a deeper meaning towards why you're going towards it. And that becomes your direction, that becomes your structure, that becomes your why, and then you keep attacking it from that direction. You're never gonna stop. But most people enter into getting whatever they want or suddenly changing aimlessly. They're like, oh, let's lose body weight, so let's go to the gym. Boom, done. Like, within a few weeks they're out because there was no deeper reasoning. They probably joined with their friends. Hey bro, if you do it, I'll do it. Oh, I want to lose weight. Like, why do you want to lose weight? They're lost. Oh, maybe it'll make me look good. Why do you want to look good? And then when you go down why you want to look good, you'll find out, okay, you never felt accepted in your life, and making you feel good maybe finally raise your confidence. So it's not actually the looking good part, it's actually a confidence thing. So recognizing deeper limitations within you makes the process so much more easier. As you break your limitations, you can progress much more fast. And that's why the inward journey is always much more important than the external journey. But most people go into a psychosis of forever being in internal healing journey and never taking the action that's necessary, because after a point they shut the fuck up, focus, action, 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 action.